the good, the bad, and the ugly. All of a sudden, not only do we see and feel ourselves differently, but we experience the world in a whole different way. And that's what creates heaven on earth.
There's no more powerful moment than this moment to create.
It's what we believe and what we internalize and what we send forth then into, as it were, source energy, the universe, which reads mainly our emotions and where we are feeling at that point in time rather than just our words.
So I think it's very important as we're going throughout the day to engage in things that are in fact generating positive feeling states.
And once you have that direction, once you have that intention, that keeps happening like that.
And the most famous, phrase that came out is, you could do all the miracles that I can do even better than I can do, but you don't believe it.
I'm always saying to people, act as if you're the person you want to be. When you act in a certain way, you change your chemistry.
And it goes all the way in through the subconscious. We can fly. We can do anything whatsoever.
Throughout time, in every culture, in every age, there's been reports of individuals who could do remarkable things. And one of the most remarkable things that one can think about doing is levitating or flying in the air, floating above the earth, seemingly defying the law of gravity. And one looks at the descriptions of people through history who've glimpsed these higher stages of development, higher states of consciousness, enlightenment, and you see that there are really exalted levels of experience, exalted possibilities that open to human life when we begin developing our total potential.
I've seen crutches disappear within months when it shouldn't have. And I've seen people, once they catch the thought that they do not have to buy into somebody else's concept of reality, that they can make their own, that they can walk through life unscathed pretty much physically and in every other way.
The notion that our thoughts can control or alter our genetic signals is a very powerful.
Aging and death become an outdated concept, a reality based on our beliefs that may soon prove to be as obsolete as the flat earth.
There is a tradition in many societies of the world, China, India, many other traditional cultures have a tradition. Stories of individuals who've lived very, very long lives. It's even in the Western religious tradition, in the Old Testament, there are stories of Methuselah and so on. Now, are these just fanciful stories? Could people really live to be hundreds of years old, or maybe even older, as suggested by these traditions? Well, maybe these stories aren't so fanciful after all. And the key is to have a technique to reduce the biological aging process, to arrest the aging process.
As a matter of fact, one of the things I often say to people is, if you have no sense of time, how can you get older?
Oh, the great joy of the great peace. And when you immerse into that, so much of what happens in your world has a whole different shift. It's no longer you against them, but it's you and how you harmonize and balance with it, how you make it work for you and all life around you. When that is reached in many of us, we will have a different situation here.
When you know, that means mind, body, and soul are all aligned. When you know, that means that your thoughts and actions have produced a state of being. When you know, that means intention and behavior are aligned. When you know, it means that you've memorized an internal chemical state because you were able to reproduce the experience enough times that the body now knows better than the brain.
One definition of enlightenment is the ability to know anything, to do anything, and to accomplish anything spontaneously right. So when one's mind has access, when it's grounded in the field, when it's living within that field of pure intelligence that's organizing the entire universe, from that level, one could know anything. One could do anything. You could achieve anything that you want for yourself, for your society.
The purpose of life is to experience God and to realize God and return back to the source from where we came.
I believe we are who we make ourselves to be. We can be whoever we want to be. The purpose of life is the exciting moments that come as we internalize and remember more and more of who and what we are, and who and what everyone else is, and give everyone else the freedom to do or be as they choose to do or be.
What if the purpose of life is to awaken to who we really are? And I think when we follow our joy, follow our passion, then we're doing the right thing.
To me, it's like winning the game. What's winning the game? You win the game when you know who you are.